Hey everyone, welcome back to DET Practice. Today we're going to talk about one of the most underrated tasks in the Duolingo English Test, write about the photo. On the surface, it looks really easy. You see a picture, you get 1 minute, and you just write a sentence or two about it. But in reality, that 1 minute goes by extremely fast, and if you don't already have a clear system in your head before the image even appears, what usually happens is you freeze for a few seconds, you write something very simple like one flat sentence, and you miss out on a lot of easy points. So in today's lesson, I'm going to give you a very clear way to handle this task, especially for the first type of images you'll often see, people photos. I'll show you how to read them, how to structure your answer in a simple way, and I'll walk you through a full example so you know exactly what a strong response sounds like. Before we go into the method, just a quick reminder about how this task works overall. You'll see this type of question 3 times in the test, and each time you'll only have 1 minute to write. The photos usually fall into 3 categories: people, animals, and scenery. And each category benefits from a slightly different approach. But no matter what category you get, there are 2 rules that never change. First, you must write at least 1 complete, grammatically correct sentence. That is your baseline. If you don't reach that, you're basically leaving very easy points on the table. Second, spelling and grammar really matter. In this task, a short but clean and correct sentence will always perform better than a long sentence full of mistakes. So don't try to use fancy vocabulary if you're not 100% sure how to spell it correctly. Now, let's focus on people photos. A very common mistake students make here is that they only describe what the person is doing. For example, they might say something like, "A man is walking in the park," or "A woman is using a laptop." And yes, those sentences are correct, but they're very thin. They don't give much detail, and in a timed writing task like this, very simple descriptions usually won't help you score higher. The better way to approach this is to always expand your description in 3 layers, step by step. And the key is to stay organized in your mind, even though you're writing very fast. First, start with appearance. When you look at the person, try to quickly identify a few basic visual details. You don't need to overthink it. You're looking at 3 things: a general age range, their clothing, and 1 standout physical detail. For age, keep it simple and safe, like a man in his late 20s or a middle-aged woman. For clothing, describe what they are wearing and, if possible, what it might suggest about the situation, like a business suit or casual clothing. And then add just 1 small detail, maybe hairstyle, glasses, or something similar. A simple way to begin your sentence could be something like, "In the photo, there is a young woman who appears to be in her early 20s, dressed in casual clothing." That's already a strong foundation. Then you move to the second layer, which is emotion. This is where your answer starts to feel more natural. Look at the person's facial expression and body language. Are they smiling, frowning, focused, relaxed? Are their arms crossed? Are they leaning forward? Are they interacting with something? And here's the important part. Don't just describe what you see, but gently interpret it using words like suggests, seems to, or which indicates that. For example, a smile might suggest happiness, or a focused posture might suggest concentration. You're not inventing a story, you're just connecting visible clues to a simple emotion. Then, finally, you zoom out to the environment. Ask yourself where this person is. Is it indoors or outdoors? What kind of place is it? What objects or background details can you see? Maybe it's a park, an office, a street, or a home setting. You can also mention weather, lighting, or anything that stands out in the background. And then try to connect the environment back to the overall feeling. For example, a peaceful park setting might reinforce a calm mood, or a busy office might reinforce a sense of work or focus. So if we combine everything, the logic is very simple. Appearance tells us who the person is, emotion tells us how they feel, and environment tells us where they are and why that matters. That's your full structure.
Now, one quick time management reminder. You only have 1 minute, so you really don't have time to overthink or invent a detailed backstory. Don't waste time trying to guess someone's job or imagine their life story. Stick to what you can actually see. If you only manage 2 layers before time runs out, that's completely fine, as long as your sentence is complete and correct. A finished, simple answer is always better than an unfinished, complex one. Let's put this into practice with a full example. In this photo, an elderly person is sitting alone on a wooden bench in a park. He is holding a small dog in his arms and smiling, and in the background there are autumn trees with fallen leaves and tall trees in the background, which adds to the calm, peaceful mood of the photo. And when you put it all together, you get a complete response that is clear, structured, and natural. The photo shows an elderly man, likely in his late 60s or 70s, sitting alone on a wooden park bench, gently holding a small dog. He smiles contentedly. The scene is an early autumn park with golden leaves and tall trees, creating a calm, peaceful mood. 3 sentences, clean grammar, simple vocabulary, and no unnecessary guessing. That's exactly what you want in a 1-minute response. So let's quickly lock this in. For people photos, always think first appearance, then emotion, then environment. Keep everything based on what you can actually see. And remember, if time is running out, don't force extra ideas. Just finish a complete, correct sentence. That's the full breakdown for people photos. In the next lesson, we'll move on to animal photos and look at how to describe features, behavior, and simple inferences using the same kind of structured approach. If this helped, make sure to like and save this so you can review it before your test. And if you want more DET practice materials for reading, listening, speaking, or writing, you can log in to DETPractice.com and try out the 3-day free VIP trial to start practicing more effectively today.